Hey guys, hopefully you're having a great day, night, and or evening. It's Yale Boys back at you again with another video. This one's going to be kind of different. No long intro or anything this time. I want to talk to you about gaming. It's been one hell of a ride. They were once great, and now it feels like it's fallen to the absolute abysmal bottom of a horror show of gaming that I was once scared of as a kid. I remember being young once, I mean, I'm not too old now, but I remember being like 6, 7, 8, getting a new video game and having the absolute time of my life. Hell, I remember when I was young back in 2008, I believe it was, when GTA 4 just came out. And it was the pinnacle of video games, but it wasn't the only video game released at that moment in time. There are other video games too. GTA San Andreas for the PS2. Fantastic game, but not the only game out for PS2. They also had Kingdom Hearts 2, so on and so forth. I think you get the point. But I personally believe that the downfall of video games really started with DLC. Now, the first reported console DLC, and that's what I will be focusing on mostly, is console gaming and slight PC, but I'm not a PC juggernaut. I am a strict, generally console gamer. That's what I've always played on. That's what I always liked, because I love controllers and I hate keyboard and mouse. The first DLC to drop on console that I could find that was recorded was for the Sega Dreamcast. I know not a lot of people these days even know what the hell a Dreamcast is. Well, the Dreamcast was the last console Sega released, and it was ahead of its time in a lot of ways. But that was also the beginning of the end for a lot of video games. Now, let's jump forward a few years here. The PS3 and Xbox 360, known to be two of the best generations of gaming to ever come out. You had Skate 3, you had Black Ops 2, you had Black Ops 1, World at War, MW3. I could keep going. For me personally, my favorite game on there was Call of Duty Black Ops 2. And that is the main focus point for this moment. Black Ops 2 introduced a brand new 2025 experience, a campaign unlike any other. You had the ability for when the game first booted up to go right to zombies or right to multiplayer, or if you really wanted to, you could have it go right to campaign. But you could always choose one of those routes. Now, don't get me wrong, multiplayer on release, amazing. Zombies, on the other hand, was very shaky. The funnest part of Call of Duty Black Ops 2 Zombies when it first released was Town, because transit was extremely subpar. It was a subpar experience on what could have been a great map, but was too early to actually come out. Now, if they just waited a few years for transit and possibly pushed it to Black Ops 3, I think we would have had a totally different story of what transit truly is. Now, transit had its highlights. It was the biggest Call of Duty map to ever come out for zombies. It involved numerous maps. You could run back and forth, but the fog and those little face assholes would just get you every time. Alright? If it wasn't for the fog and those face mites, we would have been fine. But it also comes down to the Wonder Weapon. Horrible. Horrible Wonder Weapon. But then it comes back to, when did skins start for it? Now, initially when Black Ops 2 skins came out for the weapon packs and multiplayer, I thought it was one of the best ideas to ever come out for any Call of Duty that existed so far. It was new, it was fresh, and there was nothing ever quite like it. I mean, from Paladin to Dragon to, I believe there was Ghost as well, to Cyborg, I mean, Graffiti, Bacon, you could go on and on about how amazing these gun skins looked. But that's exactly what they were. Were skins for your guns. They didn't improve it. They didn't make it worse. They didn't have any impact like skins will today. I digress. We're still back in time. Now, Mob of the Dead then dropped. And with the Mob of the Dead expansion came the Peacekeeper. And of course, this is after Die Rise, but we're not worried about that. The Peacekeeper was added to Black Ops 2 as a DLC exclusive gun. That is when it started fully. Game companies just realized at that moment, looking at Call of Duty, we can do what we want and these peasants will buy the shit we give them. Buried comes out with an exclusive Raygun Mark II that can only be used if you have the Buried expansion. And it'll be able to be used in any map, including the later Origins map. But if you don't have it, you're shit out of luck. Should have gotten Good Kid. That was okay. At that moment in time is when I realized that not only is this going to be a problem in the near future, but it's going to be a problem for a lot of games. I just didn't quite see how far this problem was going to take us. I didn't think that we'd be in the gaming state we are today because of those slight changes and slight pushes because of corporate Activision trying to slave their own player base to their game and spend every nickel and dime on it just so they can later give you a horrible product. Now, Black Ops 2 obviously wasn't a horrible product. Even, I'm pretty sure that any Call of Duty you'd say before Black Ops 2 was a fantastic product as well. Call of Duty Ghost, on the other hand, horrible product. It was not good. It was one of the worst games in Call of Duty I have personally ever played, and I couldn't fathom to play any more than a total, I think I put in there, 15 hours. After that, COD Advanced Warfare, which was another push, in my opinion, in the right direction for Call of Duty, evolutionized Call of Duty for the better, and was a great game until you saw that they had a loot box system, which also made it so you had a vault system. So once that vault was filled, you then had to empty it to be able to open that loot box. Well, what's the problem there? Why don't you have unlimited space when you know they can afford it? It was so you go out and buy more loot boxes just so you can get a gun like the Obsidian Steed, which, you know, I believe that's the weapon's name, can only be acquired from the loot boxes. Now we have to go to a whole other game in general. Rockstar. GTA 4. Brand new release. 2008. Was a fantastic game. You had Nico Bellic and his story, him trying to date an American woman, him coming from another country, and after that you have the Ballad of Gay Tony, you have the Lost in the Dam, and then you have Liberty City Stories. 5 years after that, in between those expansions, 5 years after that, GTA 5 came out. I remember the day that game dropped. It was a tremendous game, and there was nothing like it. It was new, it was fresh, and it felt good. My oh my, did I not think that it would have been this long since they released GTA 6. So, everyone knows they've been milking GTA 5 like a dead cow from Walmart for 10 years now. They've been giving us mediocre updates for 10 years now. There was supposed to be a zombies mode even, and new single-player expansion. Never ended up happening for a game that is now 10 years old. They have re-released this game twice on consoles, so PS4 and PS5 and Series X and Xbox One, and once on PC because they never made a PC port for it originally. Well, it's been 10 years. Why isn't there a new game out? And that brings us closer to what we have today. Gaming companies no longer care about their consumers. And it is so prevalent to the point that even in an interview, everyone could see a game I personally have loved by years by Bungie called Destiny 2. Okay? They said in their live conference to never over-deliver. Because they did it once, and they said they never do it again because it becomes the base of what the customer wants. Now, Destiny 2 was not the beginning. They did not start the seasonal stuff. But they took it with the strive and haven't stopped since. So now, about every 3 months, in between those 3 months, you get one new mission a week for 6 weeks that is subpar, mid, and not fun to play. But is the only way to figure out which way the narrative is being pushed. Then they release a subpar expansion besides the Witch Queen, and to a lot of people Forsaken, for the next few years, hoping their customer will buy it, and or knowing their customer will buy it, because there are people who believe in the game because of that one time. You remember that one time that company released something that was exceptional. And they'll continue to promote it. But that also brings the fact of the content creators for these games. They will go to these large events for these gaming companies, like Activision or Bungie. I mean, Rockstar hasn't released anything since Red Dead Redemption 2, which, let's not get it, let's not fool ourselves. They take DLC that they released from many years ago for it, just like they do for GTA 5, and they re-release it over and over again. So does Destiny every single year with Season of the Lost, every single year with every single other event they have, and they treat it as new. Red Dead could not be milked like GTA 5. So, they killed the expansion for the game and pretty much killed the game. From what I know of, they've decided to not send out any more real updates for it, besides the stuff that they already have made for it and are going to re-release year after year after year. The content creators, though, will go to these huge events, come back, tell you how great the game looked, how great the game felt, and why you should buy it, and then a month after release, after a smaller channel or someone blows up, and they're like, he said it first, so it's okay if I say it, the game sucks, and then you'll know because you already bought it after they pushed it on you, but it's too late by then. What are you going to do now? You already gave the gaming company your damn money. And a lot of things I like to compare to live service games, such as RuneScape or WoW. Now, I don't play live service games like that, but technically, I do play a live service game. If you really want to break it down, Destiny 2 is a live service game. Call of Duty is now a live service game. The difference is that with Call of Duty, you buy the quote-unquote new game, which is really the same game as COD 2019, or COD, whatever last year's one, 2022, and this year's going to be COD 2023, all on the same engine, same game, slightly tweaked with an update that they didn't want to put out for the last game because they wanted you to buy the new game. That is it. But they all use the Season Pass system now. So, that means if you play it long enough, put enough time into this, get your Season Pass all the way up to level 100, level 50, whatever it is, waste all your time and money on it, then you'll get the content you paid for in the first place. Doesn't that sound swell? They're giving you extra stuff that you already paid for anyway? Sounds great to me, right? Not really. This is the reason why games feel so horrible. Everything these days is skins, 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 skins. And for me, it started with Black Ops 2, like I was saying earlier, and it's evolved into a horror show that it is today. There are skins in both Call of Duty and Destiny that make the gameplay for those guns either better or more fluid in some way or form. My biggest comparison for this, in Destiny at least, is from a raid called Vow of the Disciple, where they have an exotic, which, if you get it dropped from RNG first, of course, which, is just another way of them using Vegas gambling machine ways for you to get addicted of wanting to get, loot pool drops, is when that skin was such a superior skin to the point to where they needed to drop it for Bright Dust because it made the base gun inferior. They blocked off 90% of the scope that you could see through. It was the worst gun design I have seen to this day. But they wanted you to buy the skin until massive community complaints. They wanted you to buy the skin for that gun so you could get not only better viewing from the scope, but better accuracy. Which there are also skins in the game that will slightly enlarge the distance of the barrel of your gun, then making it do things like shoot farther. And I'm sure in Call of Duty, that's the case even too. I mean, hell, they have a skin in Call of Duty that's a dragon that I'm pretty sure flies around and freezes shit. These games have gone from games where you grind to win to not only have to grind, but pay more to win. Eververse in Destiny 1 was a thing to help the devs be able to produce more content. In Destiny 2, you now see that the only thing they're producing more, content-wise of, is skins. The coolest armor pieces, if you want it to look, you want your exotic or your legacy or your legendary armor to look cool, you better get a skin on that bucko. Oh, we now have the fascinating transmog system. But wait, there's more. If you want a transmog, you can either buy silver or wait every week to get more transmog material. That is also time-gated material, by the way. So, but if you want to buy more, you can buy as much as you want. You want to earn it in-game, you have to wait. Sucks to suck there, bucko. And that's what most games are. This is what they've evolved into. Armor pieces don't look good in Destiny unless you buy skins. Your character in even World of Warcraft or RuneScape or Call of Duty doesn't look good unless you buy the skin. These huge juggernaut developers hate their community. And they're going to act like they love them. But they're going to try and do such massive changes at once, and then they're going to re-peel back, but they're never actually going to stop that change. They're just going to slowly implement it over time. Like I said, another comparison to the Eververse. It was not supposed to be what it is today. I have been fed up with Eververse since the moment I saw it. The moment it was introduced, I knew it was going to be a horror show for Destiny. Everyone else was saying, there's an old Dado video, who's a Destiny YouTuber, who said, when Eververse becomes a problem, that's when I will become up in arms about it. It's a problem. People have made many videos about it being a problem. But it's not just a problem in Destiny. It is a problem in every single game we play. GTA 5 will be milked until there are 0 players playing it. Currently, where it stands on Twitch alone, it is placed number 4 in views. And that isn't because of how great GTA 5 is, because it was great, but my oh my has it fallen. It's because the modding community has come in and created dedicated RP servers to upgrade the game and make it playable in ways it wasn't before. Which they luckily did take some of those people who made FiveM and bring them in and give them jobs. So maybe GTA 6 will have some of those abilities. But the GTA, when they release updates, They expect you to buy shark cards. They emptied everyone's garages out because they decided to get rid of 50% of their car pool. Now, that wasn't to save space. That wasn't to add new things. That was to force players to stop using their old cars and force them to go ahead and buy new cards, which would then boost the shark card sales. Not to mention that I guarantee within GTA 6, there will be paid subscription, but you'll still have to pay for those damn shark cards, unless you're doing glitches and or modding, which they're supposedly making an in-house anti-cheat, which, let's be honest, it won't be that great in the first place, and it'll probably barely be able to detect the modders anyway. I can't even mention how many times I have loaded into a game like GTA 5, Destiny 2, Call of Duty, and there's just such a lackluster of actual new things to do besides repeat the old content you've been repeating over and over again for the past 6 months now, then to just sit on that home screen and stare at it, thinking of, why the hell am I still playing this? And everyone knows the true reason is because these gaming companies have no integrity. They have nothing they are willing to give to their consumer. They have nothing that they want to give their consumer. They want to take until that game dies. And my oh my, are some of these games dying hard. I personally can't wait until the day that Call of Duty receives almost no buys for the new version of COD, that they have no other choice but to actually put some evolution into their games, but also try and stop milking their customers for every cent and dime they have and every moment of time they have. When I play a game, I want to play it because it's fun, not because I want to get the newest drop so I can just have it, not because no one else of my friend group plays the same game anymore because every other game sucks. It's hard out here to want to be a gamer these days. It's hard to make video game videos these days because there's not a single game out there I can throw out support for besides games that I haven't played. Baldur's Gate 3, for example, is apparently, like, I've never played this game, one of the best games that most people have played in years. Bethesda came out with Starfield. Starfield is fun, okay? And a lot of these single-player companies are actually doing a pretty decent job at releasing games that feel fun. But the problem is I don't want to play a single-player game anymore. I want to play a game where all my friends can hop on and we all have a good time together. But there isn't a single game out that any of us are even interested in. I still play Destiny. My one friend still plays the shitty Call of Duties. And my other buddy, he just plays RuneScape and World of Warcraft. Which, in general, all he does is sit there and dance and beg for money and then buy something off the store. Season passes are continuously going to ruin gaming. They are not helping. I know it feels good because when you level up, but dang, you get a little hit of dopamine and you get a little feeling of success like you did something, but that feeling fades just as fast as it came. Now, I know a lot of people are like, well, what if every single game went to a pay-to-play system? Well, you're looking at the same shit you have now, except you're paying $10 a month for it. Instead of paying the $79 a year once, you're paying $10 a month, which would be $120 a year, plus an expansion on top of that. Gaming will never be any good until all the communities rise up, veto these games, stop playing these games, and or an actual gaming company comes out with some integrity. There's been many moments where I've even talked about with my friends, what if we sat down, learned gaming programming just to make a game that people could actually enjoy and have fun, where you're not constantly drip-fed content, but when content is made and it's done properly, it's released to its fullest, okay, with integrity and with means for it to be good and for you to have fun. Not for you to have to feel like you have to waste your time on this game, which is subpar and has lost all possibility of being good a long time ago. I wish things were different. I know GTA 6 won't be any better. I know any new games aren't going to be any better. I know the zombies experience on Modern Warfare 3 is going to be horrendous. And we're going to be looking at a dark age of gaming for quite some time. And it's horrible to say that, but it's the fact of the matter. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And maybe we'll find a good game one of these days. Take care. Have a good one. Peace.